It all started yesterday at 4:30 in the afternoon. I opened my WhatsApp and I found an invitation. You are all welcome to our next coffee morning workshop. Empowering communication, speaking with empathy for connection. Led by fellow parent, psychologist and counselor, Stella Redman. The Coffee Morning Group is a group of parents that meets every week on Wednesday mornings in my son's school. It's an international school, and usually we meet and chat, but from time to time there are activities. We did a project for knitting, and we did a project in which every few weeks somebody brought breakfast from their country, and we get together. We mostly chat. From time to time there is a workshop or a lecture. I opened this message, and my first reaction was, I don't need that. I teach that for a living. I teach communication and empowering conversations. What do I need that for? The second thought that I had was, why did I not think to offer that? And then I thought, okay, Noa, stay with those feelings, relax, let them come and go, and then think, what do you really want to do? I saw the name of Stella and there was her website, and I looked at her website and it was very impressive. I realized, hey, I actually really want to go to this workshop. I thought, here is an opportunity for growth. Here is an opportunity for learning. And this is what this episode is all about. One of the things that I really like about coaching is that you always have an opportunity to grow and develop. When I am asking students or potential students some questions, and when I have the sense and I really feel how they really want to learn, then I take them on board. When I sense the feeling that they know already, they just want the diploma, I actually don't accept them to the courses. The other thing that I'm always saying in all my workshops about coaching for people who want to become coaches is that it is an ongoing learning experience. In this profession, there is not a moment in which you don't have an opportunity to learn. Whether it is from your clients, every client is different, every client has a story, every client is bringing a challenge that they learn from, but you learn together with them. But also the development of this profession is so fast. Things are happening so quickly that you really have to enjoy being a lifelong learner in order not just to catch up, but to be able to constantly renew yourself, be as relevant as possible, and bring as many tools and skills to your coaching so that you can actually consider yourself a good and confident coach. In other words, people who enter this profession really love learning. And they come with that being of, I am a long life learner. And when I remembered, this is who I am, this is what I'm coming to do, this is when I really knew that I'm joining this workshop tomorrow, no matter what. I immediately wrote in that group, I am coming, and I really started to get excited because I'm thinking to myself, okay, it is a topic that I know a lot about. This is what I'm teaching, but wait a minute. And then the thoughts started to roll, and these are the thoughts that I want to share with you. So here are 6 things that run in my head when I decided to come to the workshop this morning. I think that the 6th one is, for me, the most interesting one. Let's start. Number 1. So what if that's my field? So what if I am an expert in teaching people to empower other people, teaching people to communicate with other people? Because it is my field, I want to know more. I want to know more about it. And I want to know about it from as many people as possible. Over the years, in order to be able to teach it and train people to be empathic and good listeners, I learned from so many people. Why is this learning needing to stop just because I'm teaching it myself? On the contrary, let's A, hear it from another person, and B, you constantly need to come back to what you already know and talk more about it and train yourself more on top of it, because every time you get some training, you learn something new. It's like you are consolidating your knowledge and you are adding new knowledge whenever you're going to meet the knowledge. Even if it's a knowledge that you really know for years, whenever you're going to come back to it, I see it as a spiral that you are coming back to it, to the same place, to the same knowledge, but from a much higher place. You go up the way, and another loop, another loop. And in a way, you use the base of your knowledge, which are the previous loops, and then when you learn again, you just come to it from a completely different place. So that was the first thing that came to my mind. No, I'm going to learn it from a colleague, from somebody that I actually never heard before, because I am into that thing. This is my world, and I want to know more about it. Which brings me to the second point that came to my head. That Stella, who is going to give the talk, she has her own unique way to look at things. First of all, she's a psychologist and a counselor. She does some coaching, but it's just a different way of looking at things. And I'm interested in looking at the same thing from different angles. And I learned from her other ways of approaching empathy and approaching empowerment and care. Her whole talk, it was called a workshop, but it was actually a talk. Her whole talk was about the same idea, but really looking at it from different aspects. For example, she talked a lot, or she brought a lot of example from NVC. NVC stands for nonviolent communication. It's a whole concept that was developed by Marshall Rosenberg, and he has his own techniques, or he developed his own techniques for communicating in a place that it's not violent. And violence, as I learned today from Stella, is not necessarily really what we think about violence, but it is more about conflicts. And whenever we are in communication with another person, there is a high potential of conflict, because I want something, they want something. And of course, which is bringing me to the next point, Stella was creating this workshop for parents. And the focus was on us as parents and on our children. When I teach, this is not the focus. I mean, of course, you can always learn what I'm teaching and convert it and use it with your family and use it with your friends and use it with your kids and your partner. Of course, and in a way, I'm even encouraging it, and I'm showing my students that right after the first training day, the first people that they can practice the new skills that they are learning is at home. But I don't teach the focus for parents to work with their children. And Stella did that. She actually focused on our role as parents, and all her examples were from that world. And the things that she came up with and the conversations that were developed between the parents who came to the workshop really focused on that. So not only there was new learning here, but it's a focused learning. For me, it was easy to make the connections between what I know already and what I can do with my children. So I really felt at home during her talk. And I could really convert the new knowledge that she gave us with the things that I can do from now on. On top of that, she was really encouraging people to think about examples and think about things that happened to them. And just so happened that I had an experience last night that actually fit really well with what she was talking about. It was a parenting situation that I cooked dinner. And I made chicken, and I made potatoes, and I made vegetables. And I was really looking forward to sit with the family. But we had a very special situation yesterday. Our middle daughter, some of you already heard me talking about her, she has special needs, very special needs. When we are eating as a family, of course, the dynamic is such that we are giving her a lot of attention, or we are talking in a way that she can also understand and she can take part of the conversation. It is very rare that we are having a meal, just my husband, myself, our oldest, and our youngest, without our middle one. It happened yesterday that the middle one went camping with her school for 2 nights, and she wasn't there. 2 days ago, Monday, she wasn't there, but I was working. I gave a workshop, so I wasn't at dinner. Around 6 o'clock, I was already upstairs getting ready. But last night, there was a very rare moment, something that happens once every 2 years maybe, that she wasn't at home. And in my head, I ran the following situation. I thought, okay, I'm going to cook dinner and we're going to sit the 4 of us and have that special conversation that we can have when she's not there. So more of, I don't know if to call it an adult conversation, but we will give attention to our oldest and our youngest in a way that we usually can't, at least not when we are sitting as a family around the table. My daughter thought something else. She went to the supermarket earlier yesterday. She bought beef and she wanted to spoil her little brother with a dish that they both like, but the middle one, she doesn't like it. So she thought, I'm going to make something for my brother and I, because I don't need to apologize that I'm not preparing something for the middle one. Only we didn't communicate that. And what happened was that I cooked, and then I was almost at the end. So I had like 20 minutes before we were going to sit for dinner, and she came to cook. And I was really angry. And I said, no, don't cook now. I already cooked. I went to the butcher this morning. I got the piece of, the cut of chicken that the little one likes. And I made dinner and it will be ready very, very soon. She stomped out. She got offended. I wanted to do something nice here and I can't. She ran upstairs. And I went to Kevin and I said to him, I'm so upset about it. I really am upset about it. And to begin with, I said to him and to myself, I'm cooking, I'm slaving over this. I was doing like 45, 50 minutes of cooking, chopping the vegetables, etc., making sure that everything is ready on time. And she comes 20 minutes before and she wants to cook. Why does she always do that? And then came the sentence, why is she splitting the family? That's what I said to him. And then the penny dropped. That's when I realized that what was hurting me the most was that moment in which I wanted the family to be together. And because of what she was about to do, with no fault of her own. In my opinion, or the way I felt it, she's going to split the family. Now, she's not going to really split the family, but my ideal situation, or the thing I had in my head was that I wanted us to sit together. And by her cooking something different for her and her brother, that would take a long time, and we will just start eating 2 different times. That took this ideal situation that I was hoping to have, it canceled it. And I actually did something that today in the workshop, Stella was talking about without meaning, because I sat on the sofa, annoyed and exhausted, kind of like from the thought. I gave myself that moment of separation from the situation. And there was a few minutes of, wait a minute, what is happening here? And I realized that what was happening was that I'm upset, not about because I cooked, but because they didn't understand what I want. And I decided to call them down and to say, look, I really had an ideal situation in my head that we are all going to sit together and eat without the middle one, so we can actually dedicate time to both of you without kind of twisting and changing things just to fit the whole family. We can just be with the two of you. And that made the difference, because they came and they set the table and they came to eat. Not that my daughter didn't pull up a strop. She did. She wasn't that happy still. But at least they understood what I wanted from them. And this is a tool that Stella was teaching today. To stop, to separate yourself from the situation, and to think, what are you feeling? And to express those feelings. And this is just one of the tools that she was sharing today, that I know it happened to me organically, I don't know, like naturally yesterday, but it's not that I'm doing it all the time. And this was a learning for me, that it just happened to happen yesterday. I'm not always communicating this way, but here is a situation that I did. I do it more often than not, but to remember to do it. And the other thing that Stella was talking about, and I actually didn't do yesterday, is to be grateful after. She's saying that after the conflict and after you shared how you feel and things happen, in our case, the dinner did happen, to go and thank the other person, to say thank you. I appreciated it that you came down for dinner and sat with us. I didn't do that. So here is something for me to learn. You see? You learn from everything. So now I will remember to show gratitude at the end of the conflict. And even when things are over, to take the time and to actually thank the other person, or be thankful for the experience and the situation. I'm going to move to the next one. The next one is that I really love observing people lecturing, people giving workshops, because I learned from that too. For example, her presentation was so nice. She did a lovely exercise in the beginning. It was really eye-opening. Hey, a presentation could look like that. I realized that she did her presentation on Canva, for example, which has beautiful designs. So I was thinking to myself, hey, how about I do my next presentation, or I will try at least to do it on Canva and not on PowerPoint. Things like that. In the middle of seeing another person doing something that you actually know to do, and even if you know to do it very well, it is still an opportunity for learning. And there were two more things. I decided to go because I wanted to show my students, and I actually wrote to them in the WhatsApp group that I have with my students who are already doing practicum. I said to them, I'm going to have a look at how does another person is presenting this topic? Because actually that topic, any one of my students, or is not in the very beginning, but in their practicum part, every single one of them can present something like that. It could be pretty easy. And again, back to the point that every single one of them, although they learn from me, they have their own way of observing things, and they can present it in a different way, just like Stella did. One of the things that I'm encouraging my students to do is to give lectures and is to give workshops, because in this way they expose themselves and what they're doing to a lot of people at once. And I did it when I just started as a coach, and it is one of the things that brought the most clients to me. When people know you and people trust you, then they buy from you. This is true for any business, let alone in the business of coaching. Nobody is going to come to your coaching if they don't trust you. And how would they trust you if they don't know you? And this is why I said to them, I'm going to have a look to see how another colleague is doing it. And like I said, she did it beautifully. And I can reveal to you that she did it so well that 2 more things are going to happen from today. One is that I invited Stella to be a guest on the podcast. So guys, there is something to look forward to. I'm sure that in just a few weeks, we're going to sit together, have a good chat. I still don't know what about, but she's such a lovely, knowledgeable, and impressive person that I'm sure it's going to be a lovely episode. The other thing is that the organizer of today's workshop said, hey, how about we do another one like that? And Stella and I talked about it, and we said, how about we both do it together? So I come with the knowledge of how to teach it. She comes with the knowledge of what needs to be taught. I'm sure it will be a matter of sitting for a few hours and putting together a lovely not presentation. Today was a presentation, but it will be a workshop, real workshop for these parents. And we are going to do it in a few weeks' time. So as you can see, already there's going to be collaboration. And what is better than 2 people who really care about the same thing, doing something together and creating something new, whether it's going to be a podcast episode that you're going to enjoy, or it's going to be a workshop for these parents to actually take everything that she talked about today, and there were lots of tips and lots of beautiful things, and make them concrete, make them into reality, which is my expertise. I know how to take theory and teach it to people so they can actually use it. The last thing that I want to share with you, which it's not surprising me, but I would say it's not surprising as a concept, but every time that it happens, it surprises me again and again how important this is. And this actually has nothing to do with learning. This has to do with a decision that I took not to be alone in the office this morning, although trust me, I can always find something to do. But to get up, have a shower, put makeup on, put my like something nicer to wear than what I wear if I don't meet anyone that day, and to go and meet people. And this is a message, okay, it is for fellow coaches, but it's not only for coaches. Go and meet people. As coaches, a lot of our work is alone. A lot of our work is behind a computer, it's marketing, it's writing a blog, it's creating materials, and we are not always working with people. This is only a couple of hours to a few hours a day, a few hours a week. Most of the time is actually not with people. And even when we are with people, most coaches work one-on-one. Either people come to you or you see them online. And the connection with people, just getting out there and being with another 10, 12, 15 people in the same room, hearing the dynamic, seeing people, for a people person like myself, that is super, super important. And I can tell you that I was filled with energy just because I was in a room with other people, that we all had that same thing that was important to us. We all wanted to come and learn. And the things that people shared were funny. And there was a lot of laughter. And it was interesting. And that being with people is a gift that you can give yourself as a coach. So please find ways to get out there, not just to sport or go for a walk or do shopping or even going to do a ceramic workshop. Be with people. Do it with other people. Go to workshops. Go to learn. Which brings me to the idea of this episode. We need to be with other people who give us knowledge, and we need to be open to learn from everything and everyone. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope that clicked. I really hope that you will be able to take something from this episode, that it's enough that you take one thing. And I wonder what it is. So write to us. Write here in the comments. Write if you saw this episode advertised online, maybe on Facebook or Instagram. Tell us what you think. Your opinion really matters to us. Also, rate us. Rate us in Spotify or wherever you're listening to us, because the algorithm is really helping us to get to as many people as possible. And share episodes of our podcast. We're doing it for you. We're doing it for your growth. And it will be absolutely lovely if you could share what we're doing so other people can learn as well, so other people can enjoy it too.